Hello, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Vernetti here, and I'm joined by Miss Frolickstein and Miss Secor from Pleasant Hill. And today we are going to look at a picture, and we're just going to talk about what we see. This picture actually has 4 parts to it, and it comes from the website WODB, which stands for Which One Doesn't Belong. There is a reason why every one of these doesn't fit with the others. So the first thing we can do is if you want to, ladies, you can actually share what you think doesn't belong, or if you want to, you can just talk about what you're seeing because this looks a little weird.
Yeah, it's interesting to try to figure out having common first and which one doesn't kind of fall into that same category. So it almost looks like hundreds blocks and 10 sticks and, ones cubes. That's my first thought.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining it was. Kind of like when you do partial product multiplication. Okay.
At first glance, I want to say like the bottom left doesn't belong because it has a detached shape. But then if I start thinking about base 10 blocks, I want to like count up because then I notice the top left, the bottom left, and the bottom right all have ones cubes, but the top right does not.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds to me like, Ms. Secor, you just came up with a reason why this one doesn't belong and a reason why this one doesn't belong. Can you, either Ms. Frolickstein or myself or Ms. Secor, can you clarify and state each one of those?
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Secor, and I think the top right stood out as well. I thought the same thing. The bottom left because it had the 1 cubes, on the side. But then when I looked at the top right, it has no ones cubes attached to it at all. So that kind of stood out as the one that might not belong.
Got a good math word for why the bottom left with the detached cube. It's not an array, right?
Oh, what is an array, Ms. Secor?
A shape that has equal number of items in every row and then every column.
Yes. So this is an array, but it's got one more. So that's what makes it not an array, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Something else I'm starting to notice is the bottom 2 look like they have 3 10s and 3 10s going either on the bottom and then on the top. Left has 2 10 sticks and then 4. So they all have 6 total, but the way that they're arranged in the top left is different.
Okay. This one actually has 6 10 sticks as well.
And it only has parallel lines.
Ooh.
Yeah, good call. 2 4 6 8.
So this one doesn't have any lines that intersect to form 4 right angles.
Oh. Well, and I'm starting now to notice how many ones cubes there are.
Okay. Talk to me about that.
So the top left has 8. And the bottom left, 2 4 6 8 10, if you count the one sticking out.
Okay.
And the bottom right has 9. That's interesting.
So I'm having a hard time figuring out why this one wouldn't belong or why this one wouldn't belong.
Maybe because one has 9 small cubes and one has 8. So that could be the difference. Right? 4 6 8 2 4 6 8 9.
10. So this one is 9, this one is 10, and this one is 8. Boys and girls, what do you think? Why do you think this one doesn't belong or this one doesn't belong? Does anybody have any ideas? You can pause the video and explain it to somebody in your house or your stuffed animal. I think the reason why this one doesn't belong is because this bottom right one is actually a perfect square.
Oh.
Now this one is a square plus 1, but number, if we were looking at it as if it were the hundreds flats and the 10 sticks and whatnot, this would be a 100. And this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, plus 9 more. 169 is actually a square number. It's 13 down and 13 across, 13 by 13.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only one that's a square number.
Yeah, that's a good catch.
That leaves us with this one. I have no idea why this one doesn't belong. Anybody? There's a super challenge for you, boys and girls. Figure it out. And if you do, write it out in an email or type it in a stream conversation to your teacher. And wherever you are across the district or across the country, if you can figure that one out, let us know. We're excited to find out. Thank you for joining us. And I am going to try to get us back so that we can smile at you and say goodbye. This is fun. I got to get to the record button.